There's something she's not saying. Not in a text, not in a late-night call, not even in one of those cryptic Instagram captions that makes you wonder. But you feel it, don't you? In the quiet. In the space where her voice used to be. That's where the truth lingers. See, when a woman secretly misses you, she doesn't spell it out. She doesn't send confessions or post sad lyrics hoping you'll notice. No, it slips through the cracks. In a song she suddenly starts replaying. In an old photo she lingers on, even though she never hits like. In that weird inside joke you thought only you remembered, but she still holds on to. And while you might think she's moved on, living her best life, smiling in photos, out with friends, you'd be surprised how often that smile is just armor. Because pain doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just hides behind well-lit selfies and weekend plans that don't really mean anything. Here's the paradox most men miss. When a woman truly misses you, it's not loud. It's subtle, it's quiet, it's involuntary. She leaks it, not out of weakness, but because some emotions are too deep to be disguised forever. So let me ask you something. Have you ever laid awake at night staring at the ceiling, wondering, does she still think about me? Do I even cross her mind anymore? If that thought has haunted you even just once, then you're exactly where you need to be. Because today I'm going to walk you through 15 subtle signs that a woman is missing you more than she'll ever admit, even to herself. And, trust me, sign number 7. Even her closest friends don't know she does it, but if you catch it, you'll realize the connection you had, it never really left. This is Stoic paradox. We don't chase feelings, we decode them. And what you're about to hear might just change the way you see silence. Forever. Most men make one mistake, and it's a big one. They assume silence means closure, that if she hasn't texted, hasn't called, hasn't dropped a single hint, she must have moved on, right? But here's the truth. A woman's silence doesn't always mean she's forgotten you. Sometimes it means she's remembering you in ways she doesn't want to admit. Because women don't always express what they feel in bold letters or dramatic gestures. They do it in subtleties, in quiet rituals, in the way she avoids the coffee shop you used to visit together, or the way she suddenly goes quiet when your name comes up in conversation. See, most men are trained to look for action. But here it comes to emotional truth, it's not about what she does loudly, it's about what leaks out without permission. Her hands fidget when you're mentioned. She laughs, but her eyes shift. She looks at your old messages not to reopen the door, but because the door never fully closed for her. And here's the paradox. She doesn't miss you when she's busy, surrounded by noise. She misses you when she's truly alone. Not lonely, alone. When the music stops, when the lights go out, when she's left with only her thoughts. And you're still there somehow. So if you've been assuming her silence is indifference, if you've been convincing yourself she doesn't care because she's not showing it, you might be missing the entire story. Real emotion doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it waits quietly. Until the moment. She's strong enough or broken enough to feel it fully. And if you're wise enough to see beyond the silence, you might realize she never stopped missing you. Let's be honest. If missing someone were loud, we'd all hear it from miles away. But the thing is, it rarely is. When a woman secretly misses you, she doesn't shout it. She doesn't leave breadcrumbs for you to chase. She leaks it. Through moments, gestures, slip-ups she can't control. And unless you know what to look for, you'll miss it. But not today. Today I'm going to show you what most men overlook. 15 subtle signs that say more than any "I miss you" ever could. Sign number 1. She mentions you without realizing it. You're no longer around. But somehow, you keep showing up in her. Stories. She used to say the weirdest thing about parking spaces. He always had to order extra hot coffee. It was ridiculous. They used to go to this one diner. It's not even that good. She brings you up in the most ordinary ways. Why? Because you've taken residence in her everyday memory, and when someone lives there, they leak into casual conversations, even when you think she's moved on. Sign number 2. She watches. You but never engages. You post a photo, a reel, a quote, and guess who views it within minutes? Her. But there's no like, no comment, no emoji. At first you think she's indifferent, but here's the truth. That's not indifference. That's discipline. She watches, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much. And showing it would betray the distance she's trying to maintain. Sign number 3. Her tone changes. When you reach out, you send a text. "Hey, just checking in." And suddenly, the way she responds shifts. Her words might stay the same, but her voice softens, her rhythm slows. She lets her guard down, even if only for a second. You feel it, that drop in armor, that small breath she didn't mean to give away. It's the emotional version of a reflex, because when you miss someone, you don't always choose how you respond, your heart does. Sign number 4. She asks about you. Through others, maybe your mutual friend casually drops, "She was asking how you were the other day." Or, "She wondered if you were seeing anyone." That's not curiosity, that's emotional investment, undercover. Women don't collect information on people they've let go of. They ask because they still care. They ask because part of them still wants to be part of your story, even from a distance. Sign number 5. She brings up shared memories at random. You haven't spoken in weeks, maybe months. Then suddenly, a message. "Just passed by that taco place we used to love. Remember when we got caught in the rain outside that bookstore?" That's nostalgia whispering. And nostalgia doesn't whisper about people. We've forgotten. It whispers about the moments that still hold weight, moments that felt like home. Sign number 6. She sends late-night messages, "Let's talk" timing. If a woman texts you at 1 a.m., say simple "Hey" or "I was thinking about you," and don't ignore that. Because at night the distractions fade, the world gets quiet, and the heart gets louder. That's not just a message, that's an emotional dam breaking. The moment when she can't hold the memories back anymore. Sign number 7. She gets visibly uncomfortable when your name comes up. You're not even in the room. Someone just mentions you, and she stiffens, her eyes shift, her posture changes. It's not hate, it's not anger, it's unprocessed emotion, because people who are over you don't flinch. But the ones who aren't, they feel everything in that split second. And most men miss it, because we're too busy listening to her words, not reading her body. Sign number 8. She still keeps things you gave her. The hoodie, the old book with your scribbled notes, the playlist you made for her, they're not just items, they're emotional relics. Time capsules of what you once meant to her. She could have tossed them. She didn't. That matters. People don't keep what no longer matters, they keep what still feels. Sign number 9. You, coincidentally, run into her. You bump into her at your favorite cafe. Then again, at that bookstore downtown. Then again, at a mutual event. One time, okay, chance. 2, maybe 3, that's no accident, that's orbit. She's not chasing you, but she's placing herself near enough to be seen. It's her silent way of saying, "I'm not ready to disappear." Sign number 10. She dates others, but no one sticks. You see her with someone new. Maybe a few someone news, but none of them stay. And if her friends say, "She hasn't really been into anyone since you," pay attention. It's not that others aren't good enough. It's that they're not you because you left a blueprint, one that's hard to forget once someone's seen love in its realest form. Sign number 11. She still gets emotional about old arguments. Time has passed, but bring up that one fight. And she still reacts, not coldly, not detached, but with energy, with emotion. Why? Because unresolved love lingers in unresolved conflict. You don't argue in your mind about someone you've erased. You only do that when a part of you still wants to be understood. Sign number 12. She reaches out. During major moments in your life, you get promoted. She congratulates you. You lose a loved one. She sends condolences. It doesn't matter how long. It's binja. She shows up when it matters. That's not small talk, that's not politeness, that's presence. That's care, even when pride says not to show it. Sign number 13. Her friends are weird around you. You see her friends at a party. They look at you differently. One of them says, "You should call her." Another slips. She still talks about you sometimes. That's not coincidence. That's evidence. Women don't talk about men who are completely gone. They talk about the ones who left fingerprints. Sign number 14. She follows your passion projects. Silently. You started a podcast. She listens, never comments. You published something. She read it, never liked it. She's not trying to flatter you, she's trying to stay connected without crossing the line. It's love in stealth mode, cheering you on from the shadows. A quiet kind of loyalty. Sign, jar 15. She remembers the smallest details, that scar on your wrist, the way you hate olives, the movie that made you cry but you never told anyone else. If she remembers these, she's not done thinking about you, because love doesn't just recall the big moments. It clings to the small, ordinary ones that only two people shared. Final. Reflection. So here's the truth most people avoid. When someone misses you, truly misses you, they may never say it, but their heart will. It leaks through silence, through posture, through stories and playlists and casual mentions, and if you're wise enough to notice, you'll understand that missing someone doesn't always sound like a knock on the door. Sometimes it's just the feeling you get when the wind shifts, when her name pops into your head at 2 a.m. and you don't know why, but you just know. So I'll ask you, which sign felt the most real to you? Did someone flash through your mind as I spoke? Leave a comment, tell your story. And remember, at Stoic Paradox, we don't chase love blindly. We study it, we feel it, we learn from it, because sometimes the love that doesn't shout speaks the loudest. Let's slow down for a second, because just knowing that someone misses you doesn't always mean they're coming back. See, we often romanticize missing someone like it's this glowing sign that love is still alive, that it means the story isn't over yet. But sometimes missing someone is just a quiet ache, the kind that doesn't want anything in return. Sometimes it's not a door opening again, it's just the heart lingering near one that already closed, and that silence you hear, that could be love, but it could also be fear or pride, or the deep regret of bad timing. Maybe she misses you at 2 a.m., but she's also afraid that if she calls you won't answer the same way you used to, or maybe she holds back because the last time she reached out, you didn't reach back. And that silence became her answer. That's the part most people never talk about. Real connection doesn't always die, but it also doesn't always get a second chance, because timing matters, respect matters, and clarity is everything. So if you're sitting with the weight of her absence, if you sense she might still care but the phone never rings, don't rush toward it with desperation. Don't build illusions. Out of old memories, instead, lead with calm, with awareness, with the kind of presence that says, I'm here, but I know my worth. Because love, real love, isn't about chasing someone until they turn around. It's about becoming the version of yourself that no longer needs to. And if she's meant to find her way back, she will. But if not, you'll still be standing, whole, grounded, and wiser. So you've seen the signs, you've felt the echoes. Maybe her silence isn't silence at all. Maybe it's saying something louder than words. Now the real question is, what do you do with that? Do you reach out? Do you wait? Do you walk away? Here's where Stoic wisdom becomes your compass. First, reflect, not react. Take a breath and ask yourself, are the signs truly there, or are you trying to find meaning where there is none? Next, observe. Don't just look at her. Actions, look at your own. What do you feel when you think of her? Are you reaching out because you truly want connection, or because you're afraid of emptiness? And if, after all that, the signs feel real, if her energy is still circling yours, then act. But not from desperation. Not to win her back, act with presence. Reach out as the man who's grounded, who knows his worth, who isn't trying to convince her, but simply show up with truth. But, and this part matters, if the signs aren't there, let go. Not out of bitterness, not out of pride, but because you respect what once was and who you've become since. That's real masculinity, not in chasing, not in conquering, but in having the strength to feel deeply and the wisdom to move on when it's time. The Stoic path isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about honoring them without letting them rule you. So whether your next step is a message or a moment of silence, make sure it comes from clarity, not confusion, because clarity is power. And presence, that's how real men lead, in love, in loss, in life. Now I want you to pause, just for a moment. Forget the advice, forget the signs, forget whether or not she's coming back, and ask yourself something much simpler. Did any of this remind me of someone? Did a name surface in your mind halfway through the video? Did a memory suddenly tighten your chest even if you didn't expect it? Because truth is, sometimes we're not haunted by what we lost. We're haunted by what we still feel, but don't know where to place anymore. Maybe she's still in your orbit. Maybe you left her behind, or maybe it's not even about her anymore, but about how deeply you once felt and how quietly that depth still lives in you. If that stirred something in you, drop a comment. Tell your story, not to impress, not to perform, but to name something you've been holding inside for too long, because emotional clarity starts with honesty, even if all you have are scattered thoughts and silent echoes. And if you're the kind of man who wants to understand these emotions, not run from them, not deny them, but decode them with strength and stillness, then this is where you belong, because here we don't shout to be heard, we listen, we reflect, we grow, and I'll leave you with this. A woman may never say she misses you out loud, but if you know what to look for, her heart will always speak louder than her silence ever could. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this journey, it's not just about her, it's about becoming the man who can hear the unspoken and respond with dignity. If this message reached you, even just a little, then you already know you're not alone in what you're feeling. Some truths aren't shouted, they're whispered. And sometimes the most powerful moments don't come from closure, but from clarity, from choosing to stand still instead of chasing. If you're the kind of man who wants to move through this life with depth, with emotional strength, with quiet confidence, then this channel is for you. We don't chase. We don't beg, we become. So if that speaks to you, hit that subscribe button, not because you need to fix anything, but because you're ready to understand deeply, to live, lead, and love with dignity. Welcome to the journey. I'll see you in the next one.